Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Customer Service Manager Reacts. I am Joe. I've been in customer service for over 17 years. Today I'm going to be watching another video. This video is entitled, Video Appears to Show Employee Putting Hands on Customer After Man Refuses to Wear Mask. Let's see what happens.
Medical attention. And I don't have to tell you about my medical stuff. No, I don't. Yes, you do. It's against HIPAA. It's against Title 40. I don't have to tell you anything about my stuff medically. You don't have to tell me any specifics about your medical history. But if I tell you that I have a medical problem, that's telling you something specific.
The dude's telling dude to get out of there and went to sell him stuff.
Call the police on me. Why do we need to call the police on me? Because this is going to go viral. We could resolve this. This is going to go viral. You're not being peaceful. You're not being peaceful. Oh, I'm being very peaceful. I'm being very peaceful.
You're a wonderful man.
No, you're escalating. I'm not escalating.
You're a sweetheart.
I'm looking you in the eye. No, you're not. You've been looking all over the place other than in my eye. I want to have a conversation. I want you to get 6 feet away from me. Yes, my phone. Get out. Get out of my phone. He ran that and hit them. Get out of the phone. Here's your phone. Let's go. My food. Let's go.
Hey,
son, get outside.
he broke his phone. Come on,
I'm
bro.
a drywall. Run that into me.
I got your back, bro. Come on, you go outside. Ain't nobody touching you, bro. Let's go. Come on, bro. Ain't nobody touching you, bro. I promise you. I got your video of him pushing you, bro. You're good. Ain't nobody touching you, bro. I promise you. Let's go. Yeah, you're gonna get sued, bro, for pushing me. I got you on video.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Private property, and I can
Yeah, private property. You can't do nothing. Back up, boy. Yeah, back up, boy.
Get out of my
Yeah.
All right, that was a little much, I would say. Let's go back and check out the kind of, I don't know if it's assault or not, but let's slow it down here right before this part. It's not a very good shot, but let's slow it down and see. Nope, not subtitles. I don't fucking care about subtitles. Let's go to half speed. And let's see if the employee hits the customer. He definitely knocks his phone out of his hand, or the guy drops his phone. So let's see that. I don't like that sound. That's terrible. Yeah, so it looks like he kind of flailed his arm. Let's look at that again. Right in here, he... Oh no, I missed it. Right here. Oh, flailed arm. Right here. Looks like maybe an incidental type of interaction. Like they were both kind of waving arms at each other. It actually looks like the phone might have been on the ground before that. Yeah, see, the phone's already on the ground here. He definitely pushes him, but he might have pushed him first. It's a little bit difficult to tell what's going on. I definitely wouldn't side with either one when it comes to the physical altercation. I would definitely not side with the manager during the later half of this video. Like you know, he shouldn't be touching the customer. He shouldn't be that close to the customer. He doesn't have any real need to. It's possible that the customer was doing something much worse before the video took place, although the person who's filming it, I think, is another customer, a friend of the customer who's being pushed out and kicked out, almost literally. And so I would say it's definitely seems very unprofessional. It seems much like way more aggression than needed. It seems like if somebody refuses to wear a mask, if you have a policy that they need to wear a mask and somebody refuses, you ask them nicely. You then if they say no, then you ask them not as nicely and say, well, I'm sorry, if you're not going to wear a mask, we're going to have you leave. And if the person says, well, I don't have to wear a mask, but it's not really up to them to determine that if you have a policy or if your state has a policy. There's lots and lots of stuff going on with COVID, so every area and every county and state has different rules. But for example, in where I live, the state has mandated that people wear masks when they're in public and in businesses, and then they hold the business accountable by having kind of random audits. And if you're caught not enforcing mask rules as a business, you can be fined or shut down. So businesses are highly incentivized to adapt or adopt policies that mandate masks right now. And so where, from my experience, some people just either forget to bring theirs, they forget they're wearing it, they just want to try to get away with it. Most people are not overtly angry about it, but some people are. And it's up to the management team to have a clear kind of set of ways of speaking about it. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is to start off with a friendly, how you doing? What's going on? How can we help you today? And, before you shop around or before we ring you out, we're going to have you wear a mask. In my experience, it's easy if you have masks available for customers. A lot of places do. Masks are relatively inexpensive, the little non-medical blue and white ones. And so you can have those ready, teach your employees how to have that conversation with people. One of the horrible things about this video is that this guy is getting ganged up on by other customers. And I get that people are very passionate about this issue, and they feel like if you're not wearing a mask, you're putting everybody at risk. I think if you're concerned about the distance, that saliva travels as people are talking and yelling and doing that, then you should, stand back, be away from the situation. The guy shouldn't be right up in his face. They were definitely like jockeying for power, and the manager was not letting go of what they said, which is, if you tell a customer that you have to wear a mask and that's the policy and your company will back you up, then you need to make a hard line in there, because you can't be making exceptions randomly for people. And even if somebody has a medical condition, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can put other people at risk. So there's discrimination rules about discriminating based on disabilities and medical conditions. And so, but the business is also responsible for the safety of customers and staff. So if it's been mandated that people wear masks because of the potential safety issues, then a person who has a potential disability or a potential medical condition or an actual medical condition, their right to not wear a mask or not be discriminated against doesn't trump the right of the business to protect the employees and the staff, or those are the same thing, employees and the customers. So there's a lot to this. It's a very kind of new thing to make people do, and it takes a lot of nuance to be able to explain these things to people. It takes a lot of nuance to be able to balance the idea of good customer service with state and local regulations and federal regulations. There's lots and lots of rules out there. A lot of people don't know what those rules are. And but businesses typically will have standard operating procedures, and they'll create new ones, and they're always adapting them, and you have to stay up to date on those kind of things. So it's important for people to be up to date on policies. So at the end of the video here, we'll check this out.
Pushing you, bro. You're good. Ain't nobody touching you,
like,
bro. I promise you. Let's go.
It should never
Yeah,
get to a
you're
physical
gonna
altercation if especially brought on by the manager. Like, you shouldn't be pushing, punching. If you need to defend an employee, or, that's a different situation. But the guy was just being obstinate, and, you're within your rights to kick him out, and then you can call security, or you can call the police if necessary. We don't know if more happened. Maybe the guy spit on him. If he spit on him, that's a type of assault, especially during COVID. People freak out, and I understand why. So we don't know the whole story here. We kind of never know the whole story in these situations because people start filming when the altercation already has started, which is usually not before the altercation. So that makes sense.
Dude,
So
bro, listen, I got you on video.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Private property, and I can
Yeah,
take these
private
steps.
property. You can't do nothing. Back up, boy. Yeah, back up.
yeah,
boy.
it is. If it's private property, you can kick people off, but you can't assault people. I mean, you can't do something unreasonable when it comes to making somebody leave your property, especially if you work for a corporate company, a company that has a big corporate office. They're not gonna. Their policies are gonna be pretty strict about you getting into physical altercations because you can get sued. Medical bills can ensue. It looks bad. It's not professional. You never know what can happen. Somebody might get hurt very, very badly up to death. So it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And then here, he throws like a hat at him or something, or maybe his phone or a shoe or something. And then these other guys are like backing him up, because they're on his side. It's all very, very, I want to say childish. It's definitely unprofessional. It shouldn't be your go-to way of resolving conflicts. But we don't know everything. Maybe there's a lot more going on here. Maybe that guy's done this a bunch or something like that. Main lessons of this one are, and so there's a balance. It's, you have to be able to be accommodating because you want people to spend money, and you're happy you're open because a lot of stores are not open. And so it's a cooperation. It's a collaboration. All of free market commerce is parties agreeing to negotiate. And part of that negotiation is dealing with current circumstances, current laws, and what's best for the group and all these things. So there's a lot to consider. I would say it's never appropriate to physically assault someone unless you're defending someone else. And if it comes down to it, you're allowed to kick people out and call the police. And it might take a while, and then maybe the person will destroy some property or, by flinging stuff around, or they'll get mad. That guy just seemed like he was just making a hard line. I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want to wear a mask, which I've seen before. And they don't have to wear a mask. They just have to wear a mask inside the store if that's what the policy is. Some people are very, very passionate that people should be wearing a mask, and people are very, very passionate that people shouldn't be wearing masks. And most people are kind of just tolerant. They're like, okay, I'll wear a mask while I'm at the store. And that's my experience, has just been one of people being generally amenable to the new policies. So if it comes down to this, it means that the message hasn't been made very clearly, and the management team isn't responding to it in a way that is professional. So it's definitely an example of some obviously bad customer service, but he wasn't necessarily a customer, and if he didn't buy anything, so it was just kind of unprofessional management and mob mentality and escalation and all these things that lead toward physical altercations when it's really not necessary typically. All right. Thank you for watching. This is a big topic. I just wanted to put out at least one video related to COVID situations relating to customer service. It's definitely probably the biggest issue that people have if they're still open. The biggest issue is in customer service is, are you even open to provide customer service? There is one thing I was going to add, which is there are alternatives to going into stores nowadays. Most stores, including grocery stores, have curbside pickup, or they have in-store pickup where someone prepares the items and then you just run in real quick and get the items. that creates another weird boundary line, because if they're just running in to pick up the item and they don't wear the mask, are you going to give them a hard time when they're only in there for a few minutes and they're not near anybody? Also, part of the reason that people are wearing masks is because of how close they are to other people. So if they never get within, 6 to 10 feet of another human being, is that an issue if they're not wearing a mask? Well, it can be, because they're actually touching things. They might touch their face and then touch products that then somebody else will touch. Managing, invisible things in the air that, germs, viruses, and the like, those things is it's not an easy thing to do. Airflow is not something people are very much paying attention to. The life of things on surfaces, it's all very, how much sanitizer should you use in a day before your hands, turn into dust? There's a lot to it. So it's definitely an interesting video, and there are quite a few of these videos out there. And this manager is taking a kind of moral stand, saying, like, this is worth fighting over. And I just don't know if, as an employee, that makes a lot of sense, because the company has policies so that you don't have to fight over things, and the government has laws so that fighting doesn't occur. These things are actually fairly set up, and you have things that you can rely on to make decisions. You don't have to go out of your way to chase down a shoplifter. That's dangerous. And it's not usually worth it to, get into this massive altercation over something that can be mediated in a professional and logical fashion. So it's definitely an interesting thing. It's something that you just have to constantly be learning about and paying attention to, and understanding the customer. Like, why are they refusing? What is going on in their head? Have some empathy for them, because they have a very specific thought in their head when they go into the store and don't wear a mask. Same with the people who wear a mask, or the people who yell at each other who aren't wearing masks. Like, people will fight over this issue because of the stakes that they believe are involved. And it's a somewhat, well, in my life, it's an unprecedented event. Not the idea of viruses, or people dying of viruses, or people dying of communicable diseases, but the idea that we're going to make radical changes and change the expectations and policies and laws and all this stuff. So it's definitely something that has become a huge topic. So if you have any comments, I don't know how much I'm going to end up reading all the comments on these videos, but if you have comments, please put them down in the comments so people can react. All right. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, the customer isn't always right, but neither are you. All right. Thank you for, I don't know why my head is like this. Probably because the thing's over there, and I keep on looking at the fucking thing here. I know why Casey Neistat wears glasses, because